let me do some background of what is AI. Okay. The first thing is, I think you people just want to evaluate, because I also came from a similar background. The first thing, the way where the AI started is, we have this database and we started collecting data. Okay. So last 5 to 10 years, we started collecting data. Okay. So I think, in maybe 2010, maybe 2005 or 6, maybe in that era, we used to have a multi-tile systems like front end, back end, and database, right? So every system nowadays is actually having a database, and there is a huge application development happen, and there is a lot of databases that is created. So the good thing happened is, because we are having a database hierarchies like multi-tile architecture where database is the key point, I think we all will agree with that. Data collection is what actually started very much from last 5 to like maybe 10 years. So last 10 years, we have a huge set of data. Anything that you take. Okay, let's example take Sainsbury. Sainsbury is what happened. Example, you take a history of Sainsbury. So it started multiple applications. Like you can do online shopping, and you can see till shopping, and you have Nectar card, and what else you got? Then you actually use your cards, and there's the payment that you do, either a cash or a card. So you can see here that what Sainsbury have done is, it had observed millions of data. Okay, and the data is nothing but, you can see here, it is personal data. So what did they have done? Personal data. What is the personal data? I mean, it actually acquired people's kind of example name. I mean, if online it is straight away, but if it is offline also, if you're using a Nectar card, they know who are you. So they actually said that your shopping behavior. So they had identified what you will shop every week, and how much you will shop, how much is spending, what you will actually learn, like buy frequently, milk, juice. But if you see the tills of Sainsbury's, there is something like bubble gums and all. That also is, they will identify, if I put a thing somewhere in the till, which is the items that people like most. So they did a lot of data analysis, and they collected millions of records. And then what happened is, once the data is collected, then all these companies started doing something like data analysis. Okay, and also they did some statistics. Once you go data, then companies started doing data analysis, and they use data statistics, and thus that particular thing is called data science. So they used to do data science, and they used to do data analysis. Okay. So to do an analysis, what is required? They got millions of records of data. They just need to create something like a Power BI dashboard. There is a Power BI dashboard. I think you people know. There is something called Power BI. So simply people can create a dashboard of Power BI, and then they can see a nice something like this. Even Sainsbury's, people used to see a nice record of data of how it would look like. You can see here what is the item which is selling most, which branch of the UK is selling some ice creams most. So all the data that they want to see, they had seen it very nicely, which is coming from millions of records. So data is used to analyze the data using tools like Power BI. So Power BI is a very nice tool which actually helps to do the data analysis. So they used to do data analysis, and they also used to do data science. What is the meaning of data science? I think that you people know it uses some models, like typical traditional models, not like ML models, guys. It is about models like regression, and they used to do some average, mean, and averages. Example, to do some kind of statistics on the data that they have. Based on that, they used to infer they used to do some predictions. Okay, not AI predictions, but mathematical predictions. Okay, so they used to do some mathematical predictions, and they used to do some data analysis. So data science and data analysis are the two different opportunity roles and the work that roles that people used to do. Data analysis is to take these millions of records of data and to identify insights of any behavior so that they can take a manual decision. Similarly, they used to do some mathematical predictions to do some kind of maths, like example, average spending of a UK middle people. If it is £5 and the milk is £6, then they used to reduce the value of milk and increase something else. So that mathematical calculations and data analysis is what traditionally people used to do when they have the millions of records of data. That is again 5 years back. Okay, so 10 years back, people started using like multi-tier architecture. 5 years back, they used to do data analysis. Okay, so this is how the transformation of the data AI came. They used to have data and then they used to do data analysis. And now we are in the current age. And what is happening in the current age? If you know that, you will feel really, really mind blowing. Okay, we'll go to that part, but hope you understood that the history of where the AI is coming. It is coming once we have a lot of data, they think, okay, what shall we do with this data? Let me do some analysis and improve the business. Let me do some designs and improve some predictions. Okay, they used to do no mathematical ML models, but it's a typical traditional models. Companies who started developing this Python based, it's about adoption, guys, how fast the evaluation is happening. So there is a large drive of developing a machine learning models. From last 1-2 years, there is a big machine learning models. People thought, okay, guys, this is the basic model. Mathematical model is not helping. Let us develop machine learning models. Okay, to develop machine learning models, they used to take Python and they used to write a algorithm. Okay, they used to write algorithm, and that algorithm is supported by basic Python program, because Python is a very easy language that people all know. You can actually convert any algorithms into Python language easily, and Python language will talk to. It's a machine learning, like it's an what's called machine level program. That's is people used to simply code it. So coding in Python is very easy, by the way. So, but you can implement algorithms. There is a lot of libraries of Python which came rapidly. Example, you take ML Python libraries, you can see massive libraries, and there is a lot of people who developed a lot of machine learning models. Okay, and that is called, I think you people know there are some libraries. Sheila, can you explain? Can you tell some sample libraries of 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 what people used to do for machine learning models? Can you give me examples?
Yeah, yeah. So here you can see a lot of machine learning libraries. So what is the use of libraries is that will ease our work. As you, so when you are new to Python, you need not write the code for everything. All the codes are already built in, and just you have to import these libraries and use it in your application. That's it. Like we have here the matplotlib and the cbon, which is used for creating the charts, the visualizations. As Sriram said, like you have so much of a data, like around 50 millions of data. To get insights from the data, it's a difficult thing when you look it as a table format or like a Excel. But when you go with this Matplot or Cbon, you can create some charts and you can get some insights from the data, right? And then we have like the scikit-learn, which is mainly used for machine learning models. Like as I said, like traditional ML models are there. After that, we have this machine learning models. All these machine learning models are developed using this scikit-learn libraries. And we have like a deep learning. So deep learning in the sense like in depth. So after the machine learning, the deep learning comes into existence. Like we have Keras, TensorFlow, and we have some packages which support this deep learning. So deep learning is nothing but it's an advanced, like it's a complex technique where you can work with images. So in case if you, let's take the scenario, as I is discussing about the data. So you know the from the data, like we are collecting the data and we are doing some sort of analysis. In case if you have to work with some images, like we have OpenCV. So OpenCV is a package which helps to work with images. Like consider the let's take the sample of a healthcare sector where I have to do some analysis for the scan reports. I will have like MRI scans and I have to using that scan. I have to identify whether the patient is having a tumor in brain or not. So in that case, I will go with this OpenCV application, which comes under the deep learning. So it's also a package. Just you have to import those packages and you have to pass whatever parameters you need. Right? We have another one like NLTK, natural language toolkits. All these are for working with the text one. Right? You can create the chat bots, like Google translators are there, like whatever. And Google Translator, how it is working, like we will type the content in one language, you'll be getting the results in some other languages, right? Same like that, any text-based things or voice-based things you can develop with this NLTK applications, NLTK packages. So it has like you can develop some chatbots using this NLTK packages, right? So that's it. Like with the statistic model, that is like the basic traditional one, right? Oh,
Okay. Yeah. Thanks is to do machine learning models for multiple things. But now, finally, when AI come into picture, what AI is, if you use this model in a very if we create very complex model with complex data, you can see here. So if I'm using like a little bit small thing, then that is called a normal model. You can do some predictions. But if you have a complex data, which is like, again, I'm talking about the 1 million records of data. So you take complex data and you take the complex model, and then there is a very important concept called training a model. Okay, training a model means it is just not one particular program. It's a, okay, I think whatever you have done so far here is to develop one program. Okay, like one Jupyter notebook program. But now, what is training model? It actually iterates. It does multiple iterations, and the same set of code will be run multiple times. Okay, and why? What is the meaning of doing multiple times? Is, let me put a small example for you. That's very important. Just to listen. It is like our brain. So, what is this model? You have one model with some code, and you actually give some data as an input. You give a data, sorry, they're not this one. So you give a data as an input and you get a outcome, some predictions or something. This is how a traditional model is. But now what is AI model? So what people used to do is, this is all good, but now this outcome is for one set of data. Example, you can see here, this is like one set of data. But again, we give the same set of data second time. So example, this is all good, but we reiterated it second time. Okay, we have given little bit more data and we had run the model, means we run the program. So we added more data. The more data we give, what will happen is your algorithm, your data it will learn something. Oh my God, last time I had given a prediction, this is outcome, but that is not a right outcome because for this data, this outcome is not right. It will learn something. So it started very important thing in the world called learning. So this particular model now learn. That learning part is what very much important. It actually is not a flaw, it's more of train. Okay, training. So the model is getting trained with multiple set of data. Okay, so what happened? You give more data and run it again and again and again. It iteratively becomes smarter. So your model now become very much adaptive. Finally, at one point, it reached something like a 99% accuracy. So that accuracy is also being gauge. So 99% accuracy means it actually be able to develop, give you an exact outcome which you can actually gauge. So how we can expect the outcome? You give the same model, but instead of using your model, you use your own brain. Example, you are telling that tomorrow what is the weather? Okay. So what you will do? You will use your own prediction because today is 25 degrees, tomorrow it will 20 degrees. It's a normal. But run through a machine learning model. If it is giving 5 degrees, then it is wrong. If it is giving 50 degrees, it is wrong. But if it's give you exact 23 degrees, then you are like, then your model is working. So it gives a predicted value. Okay. So like that, the more we train, the model will become more perfect. And for that particular learning is called now that become an artificial intelligence. After this machine learning model is being trained and after few iterations, then the whole system that you got here, this is slowly kept into a AI model. So now it become a artificial intelligence, which is because it's more smarter now, and that became an intelligence. So it added intelligence into it. Okay. Whatever I said to today is last 1 year back. I haven't come to the present yet. What is the present? The present, I think you might had know. Nvidia had came up in January 2025, and it actually came up with a nice thing called Open AI and other large language models. Okay. Now the world is about large language models. Okay, I think Nvidia is one company which came, but there are a lot of other companies. But now, what is the trend is large language models. Okay, what is AI now? We are using large language models. So, what is the mean? What is the difference between what I just said so far and what is just I am talking about? Is what this large language model does it? Even you don't need to develop your own model. That developing your own training a model is also being taken out of your thing, and the libraries that I'm talking right now is is also gone. Instead of using these libraries, people started using large language models. Okay, now the world is not machine learning model libraries, but now what is the main one? Now it is about large language models. Okay, and large language models is again within Python, but it does amazing job that you don't even believe. So this training a model is also gone now. Okay, this whole part that I'm talking about, I personally used to train the model is gone now. Instead of that, I know you may think about, sir, if I don't have a data, how do a machine learning modeling. If you don't have a data, you have to develop your machine learning model. That's absolutely fine. No change in that, especially if you have a niche. But now what happened is, I think as you people know, almost every use case in the world of AI is already predetermined. Example, you want to write an email or you want to create a proposal or you want to create a what is called you want to do a research. Okay, so and or you want to do some Google search or search something. Okay, or you want to do like some kind of a you want to summarize. Okay, almost all these routine tasks, people thought, I think this is a routine. There's no difference. People are doing this routinely. Why don't I develop a large language model, and that language model will do everything for you. Okay, so you and it also learns as well. That is where this large language model is a typical example of large language model is none other than ChatGPT. Okay, so how many people know ChatGPT here? Raise your hands. How many people know ChatGPT? Okay. Suresh, okay. 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 So, and also you might have seen there are multiple large language models also. OpenAI is one of that. There's something like DeepSeek and Llama. Every company now developed a large language model. But what that large language model will do, it have the machine already learned out of the common scenarios in the world. Example, translation. Because English, nobody can give a new data to English. People know how to speak English, and people know how to convert your English. Like example, you write a grammar. Example, I started saying that new chart. I I need an email for spelling mistake. I did my manager. Okay, see here. I wanted doing something mistake. Now see here, it automatically giving the response. I think you people know how this chat GPT is, even though I did some mistakes, how his understanding is, this is being learned. It learned all the English and it assumed how people will write in English because it actually takes the combination of what I'm, because I'm talking about manager and there is no other word called manager rather than with these words. They actually convert, it assumed it's a manager. This email here. So these two keywords, it gone through that model, which is the model that is being already developed. And with this data, because it already learned a lot of data, it actually assumed, okay, you are talking about manager email. It is how your brain works. Example, guys, if you read this, what do you understand? Will you understand it's wrong or will you understand by nature? If you see, guys, this word, if you all listen, if you all see this particular English, even you will think, okay, you need an email for manager. You will ignore this FR and you will ignore my spelling mistake because your brain knows that because you have hundreds of times you know what is manager. You will assume that it is a spelling of manager. Similarly, the model also assumes it's a manager. Okay, that is the reason why now large language models came into picture. Okay, but whatever you are seeing right now here is ChatGPT. ChatGPT is one of the examples of AI that is there in the world. Okay, but there are multiple AIs in the world which you definitely need to learn. If you are just thinking that I'm talking about ChatGPT, I'm very sorry. This is not what I'm talking about. I am talking about multiple types of artificial intelligence. So what are the different types of artificial intelligence? I will tell. But before that, let me complete the story. Because large language models came into picture, what is the only thing that you people need to learn now, listen carefully, is what model or what tools that you need to use in AI so that everything is there. So you can use some tools or models to develop your own AI. So you need to use the large language model and then you can add your own data. So as you can see here, if you want, there is one LLM, and this LLM also learns. Not only that it will produce, you can teach this OpenAI. So because if you see here, OpenAI, uh, OpenAI is having APIs also. So example, like you are having a baby, you have a baby and you teach the baby how what to do. If you teach the baby to do something like to do some cooking, then the baby will become a cooker. If you ask them to do some IT, then it will learn IT. And if you wanted to teach you, like, cook, instead of cooking, you give some training on army. Example, baby is what your LLM is. And you can actually adapt the baby and you can teach them more. So that's also you can do it. So either you use a model or you can adopt the model and you can actually adopt the model and use it for your business. That is the thing. Okay, now the base that you need to start is large language model, And on large language model, you can actually adapt it so that convert your own way. What does that mean? Example, you are in a company, the company want to use it AI for image generation, then you can use OpenAI, and there is something called other what is other image? Yeah, and there is something called computer vision. So there is a technique called AI called computer vision. So you can use computer vision and large language model, and you can convert into an AI of. So you can convert one. You can create one AI which will recognize the images and do something. For example, you are talking about security, so it reads all the people's faces, and then it will tell you who is looking suspicious. Example. That is one use case of how AI can solve your problem. Okay. So what AI can do, we think from end-to-end point of view. If it want to identify suspicious thing, then you need to use a combination of OpenAI and computer vision. Or you want to generate email, then use OpenAI. Or you want to generate some, what do you call, I don't know, like Canva. Example, take Canva. A good example. So in Canva, you can generate images. So, but that images, you can say that I want an image for my company or a brand. So then it uses its own AI. It uses an AI plus something else, like it uses its own machine learning model. So it combines. So it depends upon what you want in AI. So there are a lot of cases where AI is working. You can see here creating websites. Example, there's a very good website that I use called lovable.dev. This is an absolutely AI best AI tool that I used. And what does it do? It generates websites for you. Okay, here. Okay, lovable AI. So this is a excellent, the best AI tool I had. It helps to develop the websites without spending like more than 5 minutes. Within 5 minutes, you can develop a website. So AI have a lot of use cases, guys. Images, websites, and data like health. Example, in health also it predicts the health of the people. So AI have lot of use cases. But what they using in AI? They use a they use an machine large language model, plus they are using the machine learning model which they want to use themselves. So basically what they're using LLMs plus ML is called AI. Now, okay, so what is the definition of AI right now? Is if you have a large language model and you put your own machine learning model on top of that, and obviously you will have your own data. Okay, so if you mix your data plus your machine learning model and large language model together, then that will give it will solve one problem. Okay, so what you have to learn nowadays? You have to learn data, you have to learn a bit of machine learning modeling, and you need to know large language model. If you learn these three things, you can combinedly solve any problem in any company. Okay, so developing this using the models and tailoring your particular models into your own needs is what the current role called AI engineering. Okay, very importantly, guys, what is an AI engineer? AI engineer understands the problem and uses large language models. You can't avoid that, and uses the data that they have, and then mixes that with a machine learning. Altogether, these three things will give a solution. If you're able to mix these three things together, then you are a AI engineer. Okay, that is what AI engineering, and what you have to learn is large language models, machine learning model, and data. What is the meaning of data? Handling the data, SQL, Azure data. I'll go in a detail. But if you learn these three things, you should be able to develop any kind of AI system for any companies. Example, any company you take. So let me just take some engineering contract jobs. Okay, so any job that you take nowadays, guys, if you have these three skills, then you will become a. Okay, see here, and data. People still call us as a data because the world is maturing. But you can see here the roles and responsibility of an AI engineer is these three things only. Okay, let us just go through a few random roles, guys, and I'm sure you will be as amazed to see that all these roles or everything that we are talking right now is what the world is looking into. Okay, so example, if you take this role, you can see here you need to have a bit of Azure because it should you need to deploy in this Python, SQL, large language model. That's what I said. Okay, handling data and large language model. If you know these two things, LLMs and handling the data. If you know these two things, you are done. Any opportunity that you see in LinkedIn everywhere, everybody talk about only three things: large language model, Python, and data, SQL data. Okay, you will see something like cloud resource that is only for purpose. But any role that you see for the future is if you know large language model, if you know Python, and if you know data. Can see here, if you know data, then you are good. So any role that you see, guys, AI ML engineer is only three things. You need to know machine learning model, and you need to know data, and you should know large language models. Even this guy did not even ask for large language model, but LLMs are very much required. Okay, so what we do here, we teach these three things as a part of the course. Okay, so what IT Talent Hub is doing is we know what is AI and we know what is the machine behind developing AI. Any AI you take, an example, lovable AI, as I said, any AI you take, they work on three things: large language model, machine learning model, and data. If you know these things, you can actually know everything in the world. Okay. Any questions on that so far? And this is current. This is right now. This is the trend. Okay. Any questions, guys, on what is AI? Now, hope you know what is AI. I'm talking about behind the screens, guys. I'm not talking about teaching how to use ChatGPT, how to create an image in Canva. This is all like nobody's, like everybody can do. What as an engineer, what you need to know? You need to know how to develop that AI. For that, you need to know these concepts. So this is our course curriculum. Okay, whatever I said so far is what is AI, but get into the role of AI because you might have seen 5 to 6 roles so far. These are the basics of you, which like this is theory. It's not a practical, guys. Basically, you need to know in and out of the basics of data and basics of LLM and basics of Python programming. This is what I'm covering. Now coming to the core transformation LLM and generative AI. So we'll teach you how to do a generative AI, but generative AI is only 1% of AI. There are multiple things like computer vision, agentic AI. I think that's the biggest word that you people will be learning in next few months. It's called agentic AI. Okay, people think okay generate because right now you are all in the world of generative AI. You're thinking ChatGPT is the best thing in the world, which is not correct. This is just a generative AI. But apart from that, there is something called agentic AI. Okay, which not only gives the answers, but it takes decisions as well. So it's a big brother of generative AI. Okay, so that is coming in the future, but we'll teach you that. This is very important. You need to know generative AI, and finally how to integrate your AI into the app. Example, right now ChatGPT is a front end, but OpenAI, okay, OpenAI is the backend of ChatGPT. So you cannot think ChatGPT is AI. No, ChatGPT is an interface of AI. But end of the day, APIs are. This is like you can see here, uh, API platform, and yeah, there's a lot of APIs documentation. You can see this is the code. So end of the day, the OpenAI is working on these APIs. So integrating your model into a front end is called app building, which will teach you. Okay, that is like example you developed a AI in the because as a part of the training you will develop 2 to 3 models. But how to show that model to your friends and family or to the interviewer example, then you need to integrate that with a front end. Okay, so there is some very nice front end that we developed in our past. We have a lot of AI that developed, guys. We can show in the classroom, but to show the demo version to you also, you need to link up with a app that we will teach. And finally, the Azure data engineering, very important, guys. AI developing is good, but you need to put that AI into a complete pipeline in cloud. You can't just run it locally. Azure data engineering is one of the very important part of that, which you can put your AI into a complete what you call end-to-end system on a cloud. So you need to develop a model and put that model into the cloud and make it as a continuous process. That's called data engineering. Okay, so very importantly, not only developing, having the data and creating, but you need to have that model deployed anywhere. You can't keep in a local machine and run the models, right? You need to put in the cloud. And you need to keep as a part of a pipeline. Example, as I said last time, once we develop this model, what is the use of model? We use it for future purpose. Example, I developed this model for this, and it will help. Tomorrow, it will help you in Sainsbury's to predict how many cans of beer will be sold on Monday. So that is an ongoing. On Tuesday, we can ask the model, tell me how many tins of Coke cans it will sell. It will give you the number. It's an ongoing thing. But where? Can you run it on your local machine? No, it should be deployed in Azure and it should be part of a pipeline. That's called Azure pipelines. Okay, Azure data pipeline with AI. So example, let me show an image. So like this. Okay, so your AI should be part of one small pipeline. Okay, so you can see here data pipeline. You got Azure AI and you got SQL, Power BI. Example talking about AI means you will have a lot of one of the AI agent into it. Example, see here. You can use data factory. 1 second. Okay. See here. No, bad figure. And see here you have a Azure pipeline where you have AI into it. So the AI is one concept, but around the AI you need to develop your incoming and outcoming pipeline. So that's like to keep in a cloud pipeline so that you can use it every time. So that's called data engineering. Okay, that's what we'll teach you at the very importantly, data transformation engineering is like why this all theory. You don't need to, but if you can able to do one end to end by yourself, then you will be master. Okay, these are the topics that we will teach you as a part of engineering course. Okay, and this will be nobody else in the world is teaching this, and nothing else you need to know beyond this. And next 10 years, this is what the world is. This core curriculum is the best in the whole world because it got everything covered, but not too much. Okay, enough for any job you take. Just go to internet and try to see any role. And bet any role that you take, a engineering role, will have the same course, same role, same skills. That is exactly what we teach. Azure, AI, ML, Python. Okay, and what else? That's it. So how is session so far, guys? Want to know your feedback about the session?
Yeah, I mean, it's good, Sriram. I mean, the curriculum seems to be good.
I know it's been very interactive and very informative as well. Um, yeah, it's just that, a little bit of a background and my skill set. So just thinking along, but as in your information has been very insightful. Yeah.
Kumar, Avinash, how do you feel?
Well, I'm here. A lot to take. But I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch. I'll be in touch.
Okay, okay, guys. Thank you very much for your time, and we'll catch up in the classroom again.